today mathematicians are going to multiply fractions by using the area model. This is going to be very similar to the open array and the area model that we use for multiplying whole numbers. And we know that when we multiply whole numbers, the same operations we use on whole numbers are the same operations we use on fractions. Okay? It's the same thing. So today I'm going to show you what the area model looks like and how to use it when you're multiplying fractions. And then we'll check it with the strategy that we learned. So when we're doing the area model, we're going to draw a square. Okay, this is going to look, like I said, kind of like the open array. I'm going to use two different colors so you can see the picture. When you guys do this, you need to use two different colors. We have actually done this with multiplying decimals, and when I show you, it's going to look very familiar. So we're going to start with our problem. It's 1/2 times 1/3, or we have 1/2 of 1/3. I have told you, you have to remember to think of the word of as multiplication, because in your problems it's going to say, I have 1/2 of 1/3 of a pizza. Well, that means 1/2 times 1/3. Okay? So, we're going to start by representing 1/2. 1/2 of this box. I'm going to split it down the middle, and I'm going to shade a half of it. Okay? Then I'm going to change colors, and I'm going to go the opposite direction, and I'm going to split it in thirds. Okay? So this way I went vertically. Now I'm going to split it in thirds horizontally. Okay? Can we visually see that?
Yes.
Okay? So how much of that am I going to shade?
1/3.
One of it, 1/3. So I'm going to shade. You have to try to kind of trick your mind into only focusing on one color. So at first we were focusing on the green line. Now we're going to focus on the orange lines, and we're going to shade, because I got to shade the whole thing because it's a whole third, right? Now, how do I know how much 1/2 of 1/3 is? Well, here's my 1/2. Here's my 1/3. What is half of 1/3? Right here, which is 1 out of what? That's going to be hard to see. Good, because it's now split into 6 pieces. 1/6.
That's useful.
Okay? So that visually shows you that 1/2 of 1/3 is right there. It's where the two colors overlap. Do you remember when we did this with decimals?
Yeah.
We shaded like 6/10, and then we shaded 8/10, and whatever was colored by both, whatever overlapped was our answer. So that right there is our answer. Let's check our work with our strategy, which our strategy for multiplying fractions is to multiply the numerator straight across, multiply the denominator straight across. What do I get? Do you see how the two match? Okay? All right, let's try one more, but we're going to do it with one of our story problems, okay? Now, we've talked about there are multiple pictures you can draw. So this is just one example. Some of you already have a picture for the story problem, and it works perfectly. But this area model is something you have to be able to do. It's in the standards, so I need you to be able to do this. You can draw another picture to check your work, which I love. I love when you do more than one strategy, but you need to be able to do this one, okay? So here's our story problem. You have 3/4 of a pizza left. If you give 1/3 of the leftover pizza to your brother, how much of the whole pizza will your brother get? So that story problem, you have to pay really close attention to what it's asking. So let's just write down what we know. We have 3/4 of a pizza, and we give 1/3 of that to your brother. So 3/4 of a pizza, and we give 1/3 of it to a brother. So what we're trying to find is 1/3 of 3/4. If you will say the story problem as you're reading it, 1/3 of 3/4, that will give your equation. What's my equation going to be? 1/3 of 3/4. What does of represent or mean? Multiplication. 1/3 times 3/4. So you've got to say the problem. How much of the pizza did your brother get? He got 1/3 of 3/4. 1/3 of 3/4, which is 1/3 times 3/4. Good? Okay, so let's draw this picture. I have so many markers. The purple doesn't show very well. Orange does. Okay, so I'm going to start with my box. Now, it doesn't matter how big this is, because you're going to split it up, okay? Just make sure you make it big enough that you can see what you're doing. So, we're going to start with 1/3. So I always start vertically and then go horizontally. It doesn't matter. If you want to start horizontally, then go vertically, it doesn't matter, as long as you do both. So I need to shade how much? 1/3. Okay, 1/3 times 3/4. So now I'm going to split it this way. What am I going to split it into? 4/4. Good. I always split it in half. All my markers are dead. And then split each of those in half as well. So now I'm going to try to ignore the orange and focus on my fourths. How many do I have? 3. So here is a 4, so I'm going to shade all of that. Here's a 4, so I'm going to shade all of that. And here's one more 4, so I'm going to shade all of that. So, what is 1/3 of 3/4? Well, it's where it overlaps. So now, what is my box cut into? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're right, it's cut into 12ths. And how many are shaded by both colors? 3/12ths. What can I do to this?
Reduce it to 1/4.
3 will go to 3 one time, 3 will go to 12 4 times. So it's 1/4. Now let's just use our other strategy to check. 3 times 1 is? 3. 3 times 4 is? Do they match?
Yes.
Yes. Okay? Go ahead and stop it, please.